$8.99. Extra liquid laundry detergent, $12.99. Soft soap liquid hand soap, $6.99. Suave deodorant, $8.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Seize the day with a summer loan from TDC Financial Services. Whether it's vacation, home upgrades, back to school prep, or even a little treat for yourself, borrow up to $65,000 unsecured with low rates and flexible terms. Apply today at TDC Financial Services, Central Street, St. Kitts, or Main Street, Charlestown, Nevis. Don't miss the sunshine. Let your summer plans sail smoothly with TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis. The momentum continues with Better Opportunity Fair number 2, happening Friday, 27th June at 12 noon on Central Street. Come explore a world of opportunity, from skills training and employment pathways to health screenings, financial advice, and so much more. Meet the experts from Aspire, the Inland Revenue Department, small business operators, and more, all ready to support you. And yes, we're turning up the energy with live entertainment from the one and only Ronnie Rascal. It's access, empowerment, and community, all in one place. Brought to you by the Citizen Security Secretariat. Because together, we're building safer, stronger communities. Don't miss the next Better Opportunity Fair, Friday, 27th June, Central Street, 12 noon.
Hey, have you heard about the water shortage in our area?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I've been trying to conserve water as much as possible.
Me too. I've started taking shorter showers and turning off the faucet when I brush my teeth.
Well, that's great. Another way to save water is to fix any leaks in your house.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How much water can a leak waste?
A small leak can waste up to 20 gallons of water daily, which can really add up over time.
Wow, that's a lot. And have to check for any leaks in my house.
But another good tip is to only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they're full to save water and energy.
I'll keep that in mind. It's important that we all do our part to conserve water, especially during this shortage.
Absolutely. Every drop counts.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. Learn more at water.gov.kn.
Save your quarters and save your dollars. You could just protect.
Parents and guardians, it's time to secure your child's success. Enroll them in Aspire and unlock amazing benefits. $500 in cash savings, $500 in investment shares, and life-changing financial education to teach budgeting, saving, and investing. Don't wait. Sign up your child or ward for Aspire today and give them the tools to achieve greatness. Visit aspire.gov.kn for more information.
Campari. Race the mix.
Campari red passion, full action, this is red passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari red passion, make the nicest mix. Campari.
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, and how are we this morning? It is the 26th day of June 2025. It's just about 11 minutes after the hour of 8. I know the entire federation is super excited for today, as today begins the start of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Just to remind everyone to be safe on the road. For those of you returning home, remember we drive on the left for the tourists and everyone else who are visiting. Well, all of you are going to be called tourists. Please remember, we drive on the left, the roundabout. You have to keep on your side. Please be mindful, especially at the one at the Central Bank. That's the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. For those of you, when you're coming from the Kim Collins Highway, that's the big building right there. The Sir Dwight K. Venner building, that's the Central Bank. Please be mindful around that area because the amount of unseen things that I see that I shouldn't see happens in that area. So please be safe on the road. If you're going to drink, remember to have a designated driver. Obey the traffic rules. Obey the parking tonight, please. People, don't get towed. You already are paying for the festival and to have fun. Don't come out and be bummed out because your car is not there. The officers are going to be there. You work with the officer. Remind you, if you're listening to us, we are on your FM dial, 98.9. If we are also being simulcast on TVC Channel 40. We're on Facebook and we are on YouTube. Just to remind you, if you wish to call in with a pressing issue or you just wish to join in on the topic, the numbers are in the UK, it's 0333 440065. In the US, we have two numbers, 1-718-285-6984 or 1-305-921-4619. Our local number, 466-0989. Good morning, Colin. Good morning, Mishi. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Isaac. Good morning to all of you listening over there in the U.S. Good morning, Dave Livingstone over there in Montserrat. Good morning, Rusty. Good morning. Good morning, Roberto Chapman, Glenn DePortland and Williams. Miss Margaret, that's Troy's mommy. Good morning, Fidel Boxer, Edith Bradley. Good morning, Carla, wherever you are. Good morning, Gowan. Good morning, Dennis and Javon. Good morning, Miss White. Miss Nisbet Richards. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Skeeter, Schneid, Kathleen, Cleo, Burl, Winston. To everyone that's listening, Diana H. and Diana L., good morning, good morning. If I didn't mention your name, don't get me. I'll try my best to remember and mention it in our next segment. Quint, how are you doing this morning? I think I said a mouthful already. Please, folks, be careful.
I'm okay. Just trying to sort out some
things.
Technical glitches over here.
All right. So I see that at tonight's start of the music festival, since we're all in the music festival spirit, the vibrant spirit of the Honeybee String Band to penetrate the atmosphere at the St. Kitts Music Festival. And as I always said, I'm happy that this art is surviving. I pray that the younger ones will gravitate towards it. That's why I think all of the cultural aspects of our federation should be ingrained from the grassroots so that these things can be continued onwards into adulthood as the circle of life continues. I know a lot of our culture, to me, let me say me and not all of you, it seems a bit quiet because I know when I first moved to St. Kitts, listen, string band galore. I enjoyed the string band, especially when the cruise ship came in because I worked at Island Hopper for some time and then I would have to go down to the port to do promotions, be it on the cruise ships or just on the entrance out at Port Zante, and I loved to hear the string band. I know the guy is it the Mighty Thunder? I think his dad was part of a string band. I don't know if his dad is still around, but I enjoy the string band music. So very well knowing that the string band's going to be on, and then we have young members. We have a grandpa and a grandson in this particular string band. And this article can be found on winnfm.com, and it's written by Yolanda Weeks. It says in several Caribbean nations like St. Kitts and Nevis, string bands are more than just entertainment. They are carriers of history and heritage. These groups often perform at village events. I actually saw them at a funeral the other day I was watching online. That's the funeral of the late Mr. Tyson. Yeah, I saw them playing there, and listen, I enjoyed that. They said these groups often perform at village events, cultural festivals, and national celebrations, passing down old songs and traditions from one generation to the next. On Thursday, that's today, the 26th June, the Honeybee String Band from Gingerland and Nevis takes the stage at Warner Park for the 27th hosting of the St. Kitts Music Festival. It is one of 11 local acts to entertain patrons over the 3-night affair. The Honeybee String Band consists of about 12 members, including the Deputy Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, music producer and culturalist Patrick Daddy Play Howell, Colin Freeman, the son, of legendary fifer David Freeman, and Chris Hanley, grandson of David Freeman, and Jelani Manners, a young musician, and others. The Honeybee String Band was founded by the late Mr. David Freeman, so may his soul continue to rest in peace, over 44 years ago. Its members continue to keep string band music alive in David Freeman memory by providing musical accompaniment for folk groups on the island of Nevis, such as the Clowns, Cowboys and Indians, Cakewalk, Sweet Lemon, and several others. On June 18, 2025, Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Marsha Henderson, and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Tivana Wharton, explained to an in-focus audience that string band music continues to be a treasured part of the St. Kitts and Nevis culture despite modern music trends, describing it as a musical art form that brings a sense of nostalgia. Henderson said, "We use the stage to promote our local artists. We use the stage and the festival to promote our culture." I was at the show. Even after we announced them, I saw a number of persons who had activities using for the theme. The Governor General had the Honeybees at the Night of Musical Excellence, and they were awesome. Really, really good. I attest to, because even at the funeral, they sounded well. Their instrument, everything sounded clear. What better place to promote our culture, our identity, and our music than the St. Kitts Music Festival? So I'm looking forward to hearing them. I don't live too far from the venue, so I'm going to have a free seat, but at home. I'm going to be listening out for the Honeybee String Band tonight.
I'm sure a lot of individuals wish they were in your position, where they
but I don't know if I want to say because if it becomes too much, then, but you know what? I'm like a baby. I can sleep through anything. So I might even fall asleep even before the band comes on, but I'm hoping they're the first thing that's on, so I can actually, sit on my patio and just listen to them and then head in, because, that's it.
Sometimes I wonder how people, especially people who are not accustomed to it, fare when you have that loud, blaring music going way into the night. I know those who are accustomed can sleep through anything, because I remember when...
Because it depends on where the wind blows to, But to be right there, that's blaring.
Yeah.
But it's a free seat if you're not going.
You better be careful. They might start to come around and charge you folks.
No. You came in my vicinity and you put down your stage in my vicinity, so you can't charge me anything. But let me tell you, the people are coming, huh?
Yeah.
They are coming in droves. And the fact that clearing immigration is way easier now, because once you send your selfie, you walk through that portal and it recognizes you, that's it, because or you would have already sent all the information that you needed to send, and you would have passed the test, so you're just walking through. And listen, I've been hearing numerous of visitors talking about it, that the ease it is now in terms of passing immigration, and I'm hearing, boy, we country need to do this too. I'd be like, okay. So we're going to be the talk of the town when most of the people leave. So folks, once again, be safe. We have a caller?
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Good morning,
Hi.
everybody.
How are you?
Good day.
Blessed in Jesus' name. Good day, Quint.
Good
day, Quint. Quint, you were so right. I don't know. Because of when we have with dust up, people think we're some kind of enemy. You're so right. We are not.
We are not.
What was that dust
No.
up?
Usually me and him.
I know. I was just trying to remember the word. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem. It's all cool. So greetings once more in Jesus' name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, Quint, when you hosted Voices on Monday,
yeah,
Africa called in, okay?
Yeah.
And he quoted something. The quote go like this: "Woe to thee, O land of Gog and Magog,
yes,
lying between the Ethiopian rivers." Now, let me say this, Quinn. That is not in the Bible. That is not found in the Bible. Apparently, it is a quote from somewhere. Based upon my little research, apparently it is a quote from somewhere. Okay.
I'm not sure if he was saying it was from the Bible. My memory on that is kind of vague, but perhaps he was saying it was from an original script. That is, I think, what he was trying to say, but I'm not too sure.
Well, that quote has nothing to do with the Bible, original translation, whatever. It has nothing to do with the Bible.
No, we're not speaking about. We're not speaking about the original Bible. We're speaking about script that was there before the Bible. That the Bible was copied into, like for instance, Judaism and that kind of stuff.
Well, I just wanted to say that it's not from the Bible. That's the main thing for me. It's not really from the Bible.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's from. I don't know where it comes from, but I know it definitely is not from the Bible. But let me say this. This Gog and Magog thing that a lot of people are saying that is being fulfilled today with this Israel, Iran,
Trump.
U.S. thing.
Yeah.
Let me say this.
They involve Trump. They involve Trump to it because Trump is the savior.
So to speak.
Yeah.
So called. No. God, the passages to do with Gog and Magog in the Bible have to do with Ezekiel 38, is Ezekiel chapters 38 and 39, and there's also a section in Revelation chapter 20, verses 7 to 10 that symbolically speak of Gog and Magog in a very symbolic way.
Yeah.
Now, let me say this. The Gog and Magog as pertaining to Ezekiel 38 and 39, because that is what that's used to say it's being fulfilled today. Those Gog and Magog events, and Gog seemed to be more a person to me in those chapters.
Yeah.
And Magog seemed to be the land. No, the events in those two chapters in Ezekiel 38 and 39, they were fulfilled in the events in the book of Esther. They are not things that are to be fulfilled today or in the future. They were already fulfilled in the book of Esther in the Old Testament. And for example, in Ezekiel 39 verse 35, we mention Haman Gog, that was Haman in the book of Esther who tried to kill the Jews. So this Gog and Magog thing were fulfilled in the book of Esther. They are not being fulfilled today, and they are not going to be fulfilled in the future because they have already been fulfilled in the book of Esther.
But you see, Greg, that is the thing. With these individuals they just use script for their convenience. And because they know that majority of the people are not versed with whether it has passed or not, they just use it for their convenience at whatever time. I've heard during the course of my lifetime a same scripture from the Bible being used at different, like in 19 something, and then at different times the very same scripture is used to say that this is being fulfilled. And if people are aware, like I've tried to be aware, then you ask yourself, well, how you use this when, for instance, when you were attacking Iraq, and now you're using the very same thing when you're attacking Iran. Yeah, that's what they do.
Right, because that is what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
Because if you realize, every time they have some sort of major world event, conflict, whatever it is, you realize that the prophecy, so-called experts start to crank out the prophecy material saying, oh, this is being fulfilled at this time. This is being fulfilled every time some kind of major world event happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah, yes. You know how long people has been saying, for example, oh, Hitler was the Antichrist, Mussolini was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Stalin was the Antichrist, Reagan was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
And this ain't the first, because during the Iraq thing, that was saying this Gog and Magog thing was being fulfilled too, as
Yeah.
you said, as
Yeah.
you alluded to.
Yeah.
And every major world event, the prophecy, so-called experts start to crank out the material.
Yeah.
And it seems that people ain't catch on to this nonsense.
People don't seem to want to, maybe because they just expect people to go on blind faith. Because, for instance, that same example you use, Netanyahu has been saying for over 30 something years that Iran is on the verge of getting a nuclear weapons. If you go back, yeah, if you go back, you see almost every other year he accuses them. So why would it be any different?
Since 95.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but when even recently the inspectors from this world body, they go on to country to inspect their nuclear thing to see they're producing weapons and that sort of stuff. They're not too long ago that international world body said no, Iran is not making enriching uranium to make nuclear weapons.
No.
The thing is for medicinal purposes and electrical purposes.
Yeah. And even the Shah or Ayatollah, whatever the head of Iran is called, he said that it goes against their religion. But it seems as if though the way things are going now, they're going to push Iran to the point where they're going to have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Because they don't see what they did to Gaddafi. They don't see what they did to Saddam Hussein. They don't see what they did to other governments. And now they want to do it to them. So you're going to be pushing them now to acquire nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Just like how they push North Korea to acquire nuclear weapons.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. But secondly, I like to say, I'm going to say something that is very controversial. Very controversial. Secondly, I like to say, I'm going to say something that is very controversial. Very controversial. The best advice has been given to slaves to obey their masters.
Well,
Why do I say that?
let me interject before you go along, because I'm going to disagree with you vehemently on this. Why should there be slaves?
Why should there be slaves?
Yes.
Okay. Like I said yesterday, slavery is something we cannot get rid of. It will always exist in one form or the other. For example, the government welfare state, the government enforce taxation, the jail prison system, all those are different forms of slavery. Not only that. For example, in ancient time,
Let me again interject, because I don't like this. I don't like when people use this broad. Yeah, you're kind of right, but yet still, when a person does wrong and they're sentenced to a certain time in prison, and that's a form of you lose your rights, but that isn't the same as when you go and you buy people, put them in servitude, and you dictate everything about them for the course of their life. That is.
But it's in the same form. There are different forms of slavery. I was just naming out, showing other forms of slavery as well.
But I disagree with you that when you use it in the context to say that slaves should obey their masters, and it is one of the best advice to slaves. Because then it means that you're condoning slavery.
Well, I would say, as far as where it is, the form that is slavery.
If it is voluntary, it's more like an indentured sort of a, It's more like an indentured sort of a,
Exactly. So, in other words, let me put it this way: the form that the Bible says, and they use the old English word means slavery. I simply mean servant.
Okay, let's put it this way. I get what you're trying to say, but I think you should take out the word slavery. It is like today. You have people who are employed, and you say employ. What it is? Employees obey your employer. There's nothing wrong with that, because the employer gives you a job, and the job has certain assignments. That goes with the job. So if you say employees obey your employer. That is different to saying slaves obey your master, because a slave is a slave, no matter how you turn it. A slave, if you look up the definition, is someone who has been captured or dominated in such a slave, no matter how you turn it. A slave, if you look up the definition, is who had it in not rights, their mental and otherwise rights to do things. Someone else dictates everything for them. And that kind of slavery is wrong. That slavery is wrong.
Well, and also, let me say, what was also allowed in the Bible is what we call slavery as well, from war. From war, you defeat the nation, you also enslave the people as well.
And that kind of slavery is what they use to divide and conquer Africa, because I spoke about it yesterday. They went in and they used other tribes, dominant tribes, and they said, when you capture your slaves, sell them to us. And when that went on for a certain period, you know what's going to happen to Africa over time? You're losing your mass numbers, your numbers deplete, then Europeans bump into gunpowder, and they invented the musket, and that it was all over.
Yeah, but the thing is with the Bible now, that type of warfare slavery was only limited to the promised land, where when the Israelites got in and conquered the peoples who were in the land of Canaan, they were allowed to have them as slaves. That was something that was limited to the promised land only. It was not a worldwide thing.
But you see,
people
Greg,
try to misuse it.
But you see, Greg, this is why in so many ways I disagree with so much that is in the Bible, and people take issue with it. But there is a saying that as long as you put one individual in captivity, there's the threat of anyone else being put into captivity. So if you're saying that the Bible justifies enslaving a people at a particular time for a particular reason by a particular location, then other people gonna come up and use it to their advantage, because it has been done before. The precedence has been set.
Yeah, but only the Bible justifies what is right and what is wrong. So if anybody use it for anywhere else, they have gone beyond the Bible and are wrong.
Yeah,
and are wrong. Because people come on the Bible and are wrong.
Yeah,
and are wrong. Because people can misuse and twist anything. Okay?
Yeah.
Not only today, but people even buy and sell people today, because that's what is happening in sports. where you buy and sell players.
Well,
so
again, you're using this broad thing. No, that is different. Mind you, technically you're right, but these people,
I don't think it's different because they own you.
Look, but these people are free to do what they want when they get their monies. They travel where they want. They spend their money on drugs.
They have to abide by the team rules. They have to abide by the club rules.
Once they are playing in a game. But in their normal everyday life, they do what they want with their lives and the money that they get. So that is different to the kind of slavery we're speaking about. And then, even though you're right that there are different kind of slavery, our people, our black people were subjected to, and history bears this out, the worst kind of slavery, which is chattel slavery, which means human beings were degraded to the point where, and it was in the law, that you were to be sold like animals, like cows, like pigs, like that. It was in their law, in the European law.
Well, the former child slavery didn't start by the Europeans. Child slavery go way back in ancient times. Way back. It didn't start with European slavery.
So
Egypt practiced it, Mesopotamia practiced it, Babylon practiced it, all over, even in the ancient world, practiced child slavery.
But I'm referring to the modern era. I'm referring to the modern time.
And it is still going on even in the modern era. For example, my understanding, even in Libya.
Well, anyway, we're gonna People are gonna complain that you've been on a good while, even though no one else has called.
Okay, but let me quickly say this. The reason why I say it was good advice.
Yes.
The reason why I said it was good advice.
Well, I disagree. I disagree that it was any kind of Hortensia. Do you believe it was good advice to have slaves?
No, because they weren't treated right.
Yeah. So go ahead, Greg.
Okay. Yeah, but let me say why it was good advice coming from the Bible. Because when a slave obeyed the master, okay, you make the master put down his guard. And when you make him put down his guard, it provides a way for you to easily make it a lot easier for you to escape from that slavery, make it a lot easier for you to even plan things to overthrow if necessary. Because the Bible says, once you have the child, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, if you get the opportunity to come out of slavery, use that opportunity to come out of slavery. That was a scriptural advice to Christians, what Paul told the Christians. Hey, if you're in slavery and you get the opportunity to come out of it, use the opportunity to come out of it. But if you're there as a rebel, hot-headed rebel, you're going to bring a quick death to you. People who help others escape from slavery, who overthrew slave masters and that sort, are people who bided their time, and when the proper time arrived, they rebelled or they escaped because the master was not looking at them.
Well, that's the first.
They were biding their time.
This is the first time I've heard that representation of.
Because I think even if you're a good slave and you decide, okay, I've
gonna
won their
run
trust,
away.
and you're going to run
You
away, when they
disobey,
catch you back,
yeah.
you're going to be. If you're caught, you're going to be in problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got, but you made it easier for you to run away. But if you're there rebelling, the eyes are always on you, and honestly,
That's
you bring it there quicker.
That's why. You have a point.
Yeah, look,
You
you
bring
have.
it there quicker.
You have.
Hold on.
Greg, you're going to have to conclude. Greg, you're going to have to conclude.
Yeah, we have to take a break, and
Yes,
we have
yes,
the next
yes.
segment coming up.
Yes. And I would like to conclude by saying as well, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth as quickly as possible, and only the Bible is our solution and answer to all of our life, including slavery and everything else. Thank you.
Okay. And we're going to take that break and be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
On Sunday, June 29th from 4 p.m., Carabola Beach Club transports you to Destination France for White Sands Parisian Soiree. Featuring the White Swimsuit Competition. Spitmasters, DJ Smudge and DJ Terra out of St. Kitts and Nevis. DJ MJ of Dominica. Travis World and Lums out of Trinidad. And Bishop Escobar of Jamaica. Captivating performances by Sugar City's very own Lucas H.E. and David House and Mr. Mention. Appearing for the first time in St. Kitts, Dance on Jamaica. Performing his biggest hits, Jamaican dancehall sensation, and bringing the energy from Trinidad, Miguel Tasia. White Sands will be hosted by top DJ and radio personality Sweet Sister Sensia and Jamaican radio host DJ Spark. Tickets are just $120. Pay $150 at the door. For online tickets, visit CarabolaBeachClub.com. It's a French affair on Sunday, June 29th at Carabola Beach Club for the summer's hottest all-white party. White Sands Parisian Soiree.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island
And
Tea.
we have a caller.
Alrighty.
Caller, I would like you to be brief because in the next minute or two we'll be segueing into cricket.
Good. Oh, cricket.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead. Be reminded. Be reminded. Caller. Be reminded.
I'm going to be brief.
Yes. Okay.
Let me finish. I'm going to be brief.
Yeah.
To get a better understanding, why don't you read the Bible? Because I think it was taken out of context because the Bible went more into it than what you all think. So I would just, or even get a pastor to come there and explain what you all are discussing. That's all I wanted to say. Because
maybe the pastor will be able to explain it to Hortensia, but no pastor is going to be able to explain slavery to me. No pastor is going to be able to convince me that slavery is right, or there's a good kind of slavery.
I'm not saying that. The pastor wouldn't be saying that. Nobody is saying that.
Okay.
Just like how killing is not right, but also we have execution. What I'm saying, because of the argument, and if you want to be enlightened as well, because you're trying to enlighten persons.
Yes.
But what you're saying could be going down a road that could be misunderstood as well. So what I'm saying,
but here's what you just said. Here's what you just said. Here's what you just said. You just said repeat a part you just said about criminality is wrong, but it happens. Something you just said a while ago.
I said the law makes provisions for execution. If you kill, you'll be killed for capital murder. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that.
So indirectly you're saying that some form of slavery is right.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the scripture went on to say more than what you all are discussing, because it's called. That's why I said, do not take it from me. I want you to read it. Just read it. You could ask Greg for the scriptures and read it, and then all of us. Because remember, you're on the radio talking to a group of persons.
So let me ask you this, because we're going to say. Let me ask you this, just to be more clear. So.
Slavery is wrong.
That is what I wanted to hear. That is all I wanted to hear. So I don't need a scripture. I don't need a preacher. Greg was trying to say that slavery is. There's a good form of slavery, and I disagree. So now I wanted to know if you were going to go down that part of saying that there's a good kind of slavery.
Explain what he was talking about. So I'm saying there's a misunderstanding. So I'm saying if you read the scripture, you will see what the Bible is saying about slavery in general.
There's no misunderstanding on my part. I don't want to read the Bible any more than I've read the Bible. I told you I grew up in the church, you know. Forget.
Yes, you see, but I just want us to all God-fearing persons check the scriptures. The scriptures are there to believe. I'm saying what persons discuss about the slavery could be misunderstood about what the Bible is saying about it, because he speak about sinners and Christians, and he put it in a context as well. So that's what I'm saying, to read the scriptures, and we will kind of your question would be answered, and what you're saying might amplify what you are saying. So that's what I'm saying. If you read it, you will realize there's a difference in sometimes how things are explained. So that's all I'm saying is that to just read that, because remember you're talking to a wide audience, and persons want to be properly informed as well. So
here's what I would ask you to do. On another occasion when we're here, feel free to bring it back up, and we can perhaps allow you to read the scripture and explain it, because we don't run from issues and discussions here, you know.
No, but so what I'm saying, for me, you're on the radio daily more than me.
Yes,
so
I hear you. I hear you, but you heard what I just said? I just said on another occasion, call in, bring back up the issue, and you will be allowed to read the scripture, and we go further into it, but we can't do that right now.
I know, sir, but I must tell you, it's very difficult sometimes to get into your program. So, but you're there all the time, so that's maybe Greg could do that. So I just wanted to bring some clarity to let us all realize that, you know, what you're saying, you might be justified with what you're saying based on when you check the scripture. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And also, Greg, so bring some balance in between there. So that's what I'm saying. For if you read it for yourself, not me telling you, but you read it for yourself, and other persons read it for themselves, and everybody will get a better understanding, because we like to say black people don't like to read. I do not believe in that either. That's what I'm saying.
Caller,
So I'm
you see,
saying if you really go
caller, you see, you're going on and on and on, and we want to. That is why I told you do this another time.
Yes, I know. Thank you very much. And
Yeah. Okay. Take care. And like I said, you or anyone else, you want to enlighten us, we don't have a problem with it. It's just that we're not going to just accept everything that you say 100% if we don't understand it. So let's take that break and, well, not so much a break. Let's go right into talking cricket, okay? We're going to play this first.
98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Can you feel the love on a stranger's face? Look at West Indies. West Indies cricket is all our legacy. Is our energy when we come down there? Time to rally around the West Indies. It in every creed and race. West Indies are the holy grail. Stop, we might. When the West Indies unite, everybody charge up. West Indies going high up. Full of energy, energy. Everybody charge up. West Indies going high up. Full of energy, energy. Whoa, yeah. Where we come from, six is red in ignite the whole stadium. Look around, is all aware. Jumping up as from Malaya. Tell the bad vibes not today. West Indies full of energy. Look around, is all aware. Every hand up in the air. Tell the bad vibes not today. The West Indies full of energy. You know where my heart is. I'm a proud West Indian. When we reign in the sixes, we hear up the stadium. Win, lose or draw, we celebrating. Cricket is the game we love. A smile on every face, representing where we from. Cause there's our energy when we come down here. Time to rally around the West Indies. It's in every creed and race. West Indies are the holy grail. West Indies is where we from. Sunshine and sweet steel drums. No boundary could stop, we might. When the West Indies unite, everybody charge up. West Indies going high up. Full of energy, energy. Everybody charge up. West Indies going high up. Full of energy, energy. Where we come from, six is red in where we come from, ignite the whole stadium. Look around, is all aware. Jumping up as from Malaya. Tell the bad vibes not today. West Indies full of energy. Look around, is all aware. Every hand up in the air. Cricket is the game we play. The West Indies full of energy. West Indies full of energy. Whoa, we full of energy. Look at the energy in the place. Energy when we play. Energy all around.
Yes, and we know that our West Indies is full of energy, and we have a whole host of cricket coming up. We have the under 19, we have the T20, where the West Indies will play Australia, and we also have my favorite, the CPL, where the Amazon Warriors will beat up everybody this year and take that trophy to our oil-rich country.
Yeah.
In
Today-
anticipation of our elections, September 1st.
Yeah, today, however, the emphasis seems to be on Cricket West Indies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you run with this one because I love cricket, but here's the thing. I only love cricket when the Caribbean team is playing.
You only love cricket when the Caribbean?
Yeah.
You mean only when the West Indies is playing?
I don't say West Indies. I say Caribbean, the Caribbean team. But yeah, you're right.
But you mean the same thing, right? I'm just trying to be clear.
Yeah. I don't say West Indies because I feel West Indies is a misnomer. There's no place called the West Indies. We live in the Caribbean Sea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, but we have to say Cricket West Indies because it is the name brand for the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Cricket West Indies home and full of energy. So Mikel Tija sang that song. So I wonder if they want to make that the anthem now for the West Indies. You know, David Rudder has the anthem that they normally
use, Rally Round the West Indies.
Rally Round the West Indies,
That is going to be hard to knock that out of place because that brings back so much nostalgia, you know. And so, but let me again be clear. I only love cricket when the West Indies or the Caribbean team is playing. For instance, if Australia is playing against England, I'm not too interested. But if West Indies is playing against anybody or the Caribbean team is playing, I'm into it.
But you don't want to look and see. And you're right. Because I find that most of the excitement comes when our team is in the mix.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, be it Guyana that's big on cricket, Trinidad that's big on cricket, you see everybody is excited when the gentleman in maroon is playing.
Yeah, we have a caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Yes.
Morning.
The things we entertain is reflection of our own intelligence.
Caller, this
Hello.
this session here is 15 minutes devoted to just the discussion of cricket.
So you can call afterwards.
Yeah, you can call
afterwards.
right after. Yeah.
Okay, but let me say quickly, what I'm saying though is the things we entertain is reflection of our own intelligence. Sometimes you could give Greg 5 minutes instead of 18, like just now.
Yeah.
Bless.
All right.
Caller, yeah. Okay.
Okay, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. One of the reasons why we anyway, let's stay on this
Let's get
cricket
back
thing.
here.
Yeah. So I want you to read out all the information that we
Okay,
have here.
so it says it's time to rally around the West Indies and get charged up for the Fuller Energy Home Series. So guys, you got to be full of energy. Ladies and gents, we ought to be full of energy. Come and experience 3 action-packed T20 internationals as our men, in maroon take on Australia in 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 T20 matches on July 25th, 26th, and 28th. Once again, it's July. It's not June. We're not competing with the music festival. It's July 25th, 26th, and 28th at Warner Park from 7 p.m. And Quint, I like that it's from 7 p.m. because sometimes when it's the day matches, you can't catch it.
Okay.
Even if it starts in the afternoon, because some people don't finish working until 6:37. So at least you could rush straight to it. And to me, night matches have more hype, more people can attend.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we
The ambiance,
definitely,
the ambiance is much
we'll be
better.
definitely rallying around the men in maroon when this is the time the matches will start for those 3 nights. So, folks, round up your crew. I'm going to get my crew. Bring your flags and
You have a
good
crew?
vibes. Yeah, I got my crew. CPL, I got my crew too. Let me tell you. During
That's
those
interesting. I would love to see you and your crew.
Listen, I'm the loudest thing in there. They would tell you. They whack me and all. I get friendly lashes for not behaving. So round up your crew and bring your flags and good vibes. It's all going down at Warner Park. It'll be the West Indies versus Australia in 3 thrilling T20 night matches. So get your tickets now at westindiescricket.com to secure the best seats. Party stand and hospitality tickets are also available. There's something for everyone. And I know the game of cricket is catching on in the island. We have a large GT population here that comes across from Nevis. So this works out for every single one of us. So come on, let's come out, let's have fun. Even though some of us just go to hang out with our buddies, we don't understand the game of cricket, but we can learn the game of cricket whilst we are there. So physical tickets would be available at the Oval Box office from July 21st between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. The box office that's on the other side of Warner Park, right? That's where we normally get the tickets from, just in front of NHC.
I wouldn't know because I don't really.
Okay, I'll clarify that part.
Go out, you know.
See, this is why you need to be on this one here. Your favorite people are playing, so I'm looking forward to seeing you in the park. Okay, so you can see how nice I behave at cricket. Okay, so visit windyscricket.com for more information. So, what are you looking forward most to this? I realize they have different team captains for different events within the West Indies. I see Ralston Chase, he's a test captain, and I see Shea Hope is the one-day ODI and T20 captain.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about Mr. Powell yet because I know he's sometimes the captain.
I don't care who's captain. I just want them to win. That's
you want to
all
know
I'm
that you're
concerned
captain capable and able to lead the team?
Well, I would like to think and hope that they're all capable. That is why they've been picked for particular, games and so forth. Here's a bit of trivia. Yes, last evening I was there sitting down after I was given this bit of information, and Biff, Biff.
Yeah,
he
sports
came in
guy,
and,
Troy.
Yeah, sports guy. So I called him and I say, Biff, I want you to give me some information as it relates to cricket because we have this thing we're going to take place tomorrow. And he gave me this bit of information. He said recently, for the first time in 27 years, the West Indies team beat Australia in Australia. And he said that was not that for a long 27 years that didn't happen, so that was a good achievement.
Very good achievement.
And he wants that we continue in that vein, and I concur. I agree with him. Let's start beating up the Aussies, beating them up wherever.
Let's start beating up everybody, not just them. I want us to beat everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last time we whooped those people in the park, and then we left here and we let them whoop us all the way.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, man. Imagine the excitement we had here in hopes for that excitement to continue, and then I had to take a D.
Oh, okay.
Man, that one hurts.
We had a caller not too long ago. Caller, you can call back and give your 2 cents on how you feel about cricket. Will you be going, and will you be carrying your crew, as Hortensia has attest that she'll be carrying her crew? I would love to see you misbehaving.
No, it's not misbehaving, man. No, you have to come and see the vibe. You have to come and see the vibe.
Caller.
Caller, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, Quinn.
Yes.
Hey, long time.
I'm here, Hortensio.
How are you?
I'm fine. Hey, Quintessential. I've got a lot of problem with cricket, A lot of problem.
Yeah, we're speaking.
We don't treat farmer players. Remember, Quinn?
What's his
the
name
days watching
jam down.
Remember
Jam
the
down.
line used to be people, eh?
Jam down.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I want you to. This is a paid for 15 minutes, and they want the emphasis to be on cricket West Indies.
So it's cricket they're talking about, Quinn.
Cricket,
but they know team jam down.
Cricket West Indies, yeah.
Cricket West Indies.
So the now team.
Yeah,
so
but remember we getting 3-1 the games against the Aussies, right?
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying, you are yeah, that is what I'm talking about.
Let's unfortunately that call was kind of going in and out.
Okay.
Let's continue, and so You say you're not going to be misbehaving, right?
No.
You say it's not misbehaving.
It's not misbehaving, but you have to see it.
But I would like, I'm imagining in my mind, and I'm being kind of mischievous in my mind. And I mean, do you get up and make noise? Well,
of
that's
course, out my seat.
That's a kind of misbehaving.
They try to pull me back. Oh, sit down. I'll be like, what?
So
no.
that is what I want to see. I want to see Hortensia excited and, really into the game and that kind of stuff. That is why people come from all over the world to the West Indies, to see Caribbean people, how they indulge. I remember there was this guy in Antigua, I think I understand that he has passed, but he used to run across the field and wave a flag and dance and do all kind of, and he was an attraction that people came to see.
Well, I have a big St. Kitts flag, so that will work for this game. I have a tiny Guyana one that you can wave in your hand, but the St. Kitts one is the huge one. But I'm gonna source me a big one, and I can just put them side by side, because we have players from GT, and now we have players from St. Kitts too.
Yeah.
Louis. So we are in things. So the park gonna be big, large, loud, and everything. So
most definitely,
they have to come, and they have to do what they did the last time when they beat Bangladesh. But when they go, they have to make sure that they don't whoop them. Please, just play your hardest. You're gonna have us behind you, backing you, screaming for you. And as I said, I like the fact that the matches are now at nighttime, 7 p.m. Majority of us can come out. It's not during the day when we have to work and only some of us can go because some of us got time off. But the night matches, I think it's going to be lit, as we would say.
And like you said, we as West Indies supporters, Caribbean player supporters, we like when we win.
Yeah, so rally around
them. We love when we win.
Yeah, rally around your Windies.
You break our hearts especially when you lose badly. You know what I'm saying?
So
we don't mind occasionally if you lose, but it was a close fight.
Yeah.
But when you lose badly, man, it breaks our hearts. Yeah.
But the good thing about us around here, right? Even though they lose, we might make a little fuss, but then we back up again, ready to back. We win these.
As you say that, I don't understand for the life of me how people from the Caribbean can say, I back. I mean, you have your right, but I can't understand how you're gonna say you're back. I back England against West Indies. Are you crazy? I'm not.
Oh my God, that person sound like the West Indies really hurt them. That's why they're backing the other.
And some people, they jump on because West Indies started to get a lot of blows over those years. They jump ship.
The jump ship,
Yeah, they're not really fans. I don't see them as real fans. But let West Indies start to be consistent again, and you hear them.
Boy.
And when you hear them in the crowd, and you say, but wait, I thought you were supporting Australia. Hear them? Boy, no, I always support. They'll watch you in the face and boldly tell you, I never support nobody else but the West Indies, which is a downright lie. You know what I'm saying? So.
But with Darren, Sammy, and all those folks behind the West Indies, I really hope that they push and they get back into the graces that folks like Viv Richards and them,
Clive
Ambrose,
and
those positions that those.
My favorite cricketer of all time was Big Bird Joel Garner.
Is he from?
I don't remember where he was from, but I know I used to listen to cricket, and when I hear they say, and the Big Bird Joel Garner is coming down.
So that means he was tall.
Yeah, that is why you remember Big Bird on Sesame Street?
Yeah.
That's
why I said it must be.
Yeah. So when the Big Bird comes chomping down, and he lets that ball go, and a wicket is gone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
I'm trying to see where he's from. Yeah, I happen to work with a former. I'm seeing something else. I'm seeing the Big Bird thing here, but it's
put in Joel Garner first, and that should help.
Yeah, I'm seeing. I put it in, but they're showing me a young fella here, Joel F. Gardner.
Maybe that was when he was young.
Saying the person out to Canada, no. And then they have a bunch of cricket things here.
No. That's not the right one.
How can they draw? No, I don't know that.
Okay, while you're looking for that, give us a quick roundup again on the information.
Okay, so this segment is brought to you courtesy of Cricket West Indies. West Indies, home and full of energy. It is time to rally around the West Indies and get charged up for the Fuller Energy Home Series. Okay, so when you go to the series, you have to be full of energy. It says, come and experience 3 action-packed T20 internationals as our men in maroon take on Australia in 3 T20 matches on July the 25th, the 26th, and the 28th at Warner Park from 7 p.m. So round up your crew, bring your flags and good vibes. It is all going down at Warner Park, West Indies versus Australia in 3 thrilling T20 night matches. So get your tickets now at windiescricket.com to secure the best seats. Party stand and hospitality tickets are also available. There's something for everyone. So physical tickets would be available at the Oval Box office from July 21st between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily. Visit westindiescricket.com for more information. So just a reminder, July 25th, 26th, and 28th at the Warner Park from 7 p.m.
Yeah, and we're gonna close the way we started with this theme song.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Can you feel the love on a stranger's face? Look at the West Indies. West Indies cricket is all our legacy. It's our energy when we come down there. Time to rally. Full of energy. I'm a proud West Indian. When we reign in the 60s, we rock the stadium. Win, lose or draw, we celebrating. Cricket is the game we love. A smile on every face, representing where we from. Cause it's our energy when we come down here. Time to rally around the West Indies. It's in every creed and race. West Indies are the holy grail.
Yeah, West Indies full of energy.
Yeah, full of energy. Full of energy.
And you were looking for some information there.
Yeah.
So where's Joel Garner from?
BGI.
Yeah. Be more specific.
And he's
BGI,
Barbados.
Barbados. And then I asked her where was Clive Lloyd from, and I was saying perhaps he was from Barbados too. And then she found out that he was from who? From where?
I kind of knew he was from GT, but I'm like, oh, I might second guessing myself.
Yeah. And then you should have seen her reaction when.
So just imagine how I
tried
behave
to
in
rub
the
it
stands,
in. Right? Let me tell you, in my opinion, Clive Lloyd was the greatest captain ever to step on a cricket field. I don't care what nobody say, because he came at a time when Australia and those teams were just their tails on their backs, and they're saying all kind of bad things about West Indies, how they're going to dominate and pummel us and this and that. And he came down and he was a captain's captain. I mean, you know how many times he saved us with that big bat? Knocking a bold 70-something.
So the man come down with his big bat.
Yeah. I tell you, as a young boy, I used to love to hear those. And those English commentators, they were the best. Those English commentators, they could speak, and your mind would be right there. You're right on the field. And I would hear one of them say, "And here he comes, the big man with the big bat," you know, and that
because we didn't have telly like that, you know, and
Yeah.
they made it real for you.
They made it real for you.
You are correct.
Yeah. I tell
the
you.
visuals. You in your mind, you're thinking, you visualizing. Yeah, they really made it visual for us.
I tell you. Hello, caller.
Hi, good morning, Quinn. Good
Yes.
morning, Curtin.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm giving thanks for life. Yourself?
Good,
We're
thanks.
fine.
Yeah, I want to weigh in on the genre of the sport we call cricket.
Yeah.
But
Well,
sport in general.
the segment that was sponsored has passed, but before you go on, let me say this. Whenever we have a particular segment that is sponsored, like that we just had 15 minutes that was sponsored, with cricket, you would know that, Africa, we have to stay on topic. We cannot go off on anything else but just that, because it is it is paid for by the individuals who want to push that, right? And we have to push that. Go ahead, Africa.
I'm sorry, I apologize for.
I'm saying that has passed. That sector, it is paid for by the to push that, right? And we have to push that. Go ahead, Africa.
I'm sorry, I apologize for.
I'm saying that has passed. That segment has passed, so you are now free to speak on whatever.
To pass on with the cricket.
Yeah, well, the best opening batsmen, who were they?
Lawrence Rowe was one
Greenwich,
my memory.
Greenwich and Haynes. Greenwich.
Desmond Haynes came later on, but Lawrence Rowe was.
But I'm speaking about, if you're going to the history books, they are the one you're going to see with some tremendous records and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a team going down. Your first two batters going down, and one of them, by the time they come off the field, one of them has 150 something, and the other one has 200. You could imagine that. And they did that so often. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have set the foundation for. But I wanted to get back to the pride that the game was played in. And they had an earlier segment there where, it went off into enslaved people and if slavery is commission and so forth. Coming out of where we came from, and we got an opportunity to play on a forum, an international stage, so to speak, when it comes to this cricket.
Yeah.
Displaying our talent, our ability to excel and to exert who we are as human beings. Because, we were less than humans at one time.
Yeah.
To play the sport, to be competitive, and to be consistent within the genre of sport.
Not only that, not only that, but you're leaving out a part. I want you to think, and you're leaving out a part. Not just to play and to be consistent, but we also did what? We also whooped them and whooped them soundly.
Yes, in terms of the winning ways. But,
Yeah.
you know, I remember Jesse Owens as a, I'm diverting a little bit, but I'm going to get back. Jesse Owens, and the record is there. When he went to Germany, Munich, I think, you know, and he ran, even though he ran for the USA, he was, at that time, the segregation and so in the U.S. was so, you know what I mean, prevalent. The point that I'm making is I want to know, because there's some lull period where we would wonder if our sportsmen have forgotten their principle, the core principle as to who we are and the consistency that we should exert at all times. I am wondering, in the psyche of the West Indies team, is it right across the Caribbean? You know, so we can groom from each state, island state. You know, Barbados will have theirs, Trinidad and Tobago will have, and so forth and so forth. St. Kitts and Nevis. We have come a long way, but our thanks to Louis, the Louis brothers and so, who you know, after Alcomeda Willip and those guys in Nevis, you know, it has taken a long time for us in St. Kitts and Nevis to reach to that zenith level, so to speak. I am wondering if the West Indies has guys who they retain like the Vivian Richards, who will give pep talks in the locker room, constantly reminding the players, you are playing to represent the region, you know, the Caribbean region and so forth. You know, because it has to be ingrained in the psyche of our people.
Over
that
the
we
years,
are playing this sport.
Over the years, that has been done, but to not too much of an avail. And Vivian Richards wrote about it in his book, and many other West Indian cricketers, Clive Lloyd and others, reference it by saying these young players don't have the fire in their belly that the older ones had. The older ones, coming out of that era of slavery, it was in their minds. For instance, when Vivian Richard wrote his book, a lot of fans around the world took issue with the fact that he actually stated that when he went onto the field, he went on with him and his other teammates that no white man was going to beat them. That was in his mind, you see. But these young ones, they don't have that fire in their belly because they're so far removed from the struggle that, you know, these. Remember when Clive Lloyd and them started, when they would tell you that they were segregated, certain places they couldn't go into, they couldn't, you know. Remember when? Just like what was happening in the United States, where you couldn't go into certain places as a black person and sit down and eat meals. So when they would go to a place to play, you know, like for instance places in England and so forth, and they would be segregated against, they took that fire onto the field. So when they went to bat, they had that in them. You understand? And they took it out. Yeah, they took it out on the ball, on the bowler, on whoever was. Yeah.
So
yes, because Prince, the psyche to, you know, because you see the wicket keeper.
Yeah.
And you will see it in modern technology where we have the, you know, you have the technology that allow us to see up front these games. You will see it where these guys will be whispering to the batsman to try to distract him from his game.
Yeah, and they
that
would
never distract Richards and those guys.
But not only whispering. Look, you if you heard those old games, you would actually hear them use the nigger word.
Yes.
And throw things at them, and so there were individuals who would even get urine and put it in buckles and throw it on them. And I remember, you remember the point when it was what was that fast bowler from Jamaica's name? Andy Roberts. Andy Roberts lost his temper because he was off.
Roberts was from Antigua, but yeah.
Not Andy Roberts then.
Michael Holding?
Michael Holding, yes. Michael Holding was off on the side, close to the crowd on the boundary, and they kept throwing buckles and things at him. And Andy Roberts stayed there, and Michael Holding stayed there, and there was a rock in the vicinity where he was, and The rest of the crowd didn't realize it. Andy Roberts took his time, kicked that rock out of the ground, and threw it back into the crowd. He was penalized for it, but those are some of the things that our players had to go through.
Yeah, and locally though, I'm growing up in the Newtown community. When we first organized the first football team to go into the park, the name of it was Zip Tide.
Yeah.
Before it morphed into the Newtown, Newtown United. We were labeled as fishermen, Newtown, fishermen and ignorant guys in Newtown. All we love to do is to fight and catch fish and always smell fishy.
Yeah.
We took that
I remember
to
those
the park.
days. Yeah.
And we decided we're going to prove to the others that no, we can excel also. And we became the most winningest team in the park. They had to change the format because we have won so much. They changed the format.
Yeah.
I'm wondering these youths in Newtown today, if they have prep guys who give them motivational talk to let them know how we started and to where the Newtown team has gone down to, relegated to the second class.
But even if you get the motivational talk, it's all up to you, because when you're growing up, your parents will give you motivational pep talks. And we know that the talks have gotten better now. But you aim to do better. And you aim to do it for yourself and not only for your parents. So even though folks are given pep talks, they have to have a fire inside themselves.
Yeah.
And decide that this is what I'm going to do for the betterment, not only for me, but for the team.
Yeah.
And sometimes teams aren't really about teamwork. It's about I am the star, I can do this. And we need to come together as one in every single thing, including playing a game, and have the same fire in order to have the same results. Because we see when in regular relationships, if you're not on the same page, you drift apart. You end up going your separate ways. Be it you divorce if you're married, or you're single, you just bust off from each other.
I love the way you did.
Yeah, you're so correct. Because I could tell you right now,
thanks,
if there was any national in the Caribbean that has maintained, which there are more than one country.
Yeah.
But Guyana, the Guyanese nationals who are here, if they were to inspire us, petitions, especially Carnivision, kind of hold more to the cricket than us. So there need to be a renaissance, so to speak. But Guyana, the way they support the sport, in think it speaks volume that even though the stars might seem far apart, there are enough fireflies in our midst to enlighten the path of inspiring us back to the game, so to speak.
And as I said, I watch us slowly, the Kittian public, I watch them slowly getting into it, because at the CPL, like the amount of people that you see at the CPL and that are gravitating towards the cricket, that are learning the games, that when they have various oopsies and in the matches, they're like, no, what is that? Like, people are getting into it. So I think the more cricket that comes back to our shores, and I like the fact, as I mentioned before, 7 p.m., people are going to go. People are going to go support the gentleman in maroon. So the more we bring these things into the island, the more we're going to get it back. And you see, like, how
I always tell my guests, Cottons here, we have revolutionized the sport, because whereas they go to Lords and Edgbaston, they knock a four and they just cheer, slightly clap their hands. No, we have brought an electric, festive atmosphere to the sport. So when we go there, you go with your rags and your bands and you know what I mean?
Flags and the party stands.
Yes, we have brought a different level to the game.
Yeah.
That is thanks
so
for listening.
You're welcome. Thank you for your contribution. So
Yeah,
I just think we need the fire lit under all of us, and we play with the same vigor, and not me alone thinking I'm the star and I'll get the most.
And I love that interjection. You know why? Because that is a complaint from all the old players. The old players say that these young ones are more concerned about the bling. You see them running down the field, and they have these chains going here and there. You look on their fingers, you see all these rings, and they're losing, and they lose so easily, like like with no remorse, like, you know, back in the day when those fellas lost, you see them with their heads down, and these now they come off with a big grin on their face as if though.
yeah, next time.
Yeah, you know, and next time they lose again and they keep losing it. Yeah, so I love that interjection. It's about team. It's about that fire. Yeah. Hello, caller.
Oh, yes. Good morning, Hortensia. Good morning, Prince.
Yeah.
Morning, Secretary Nevis.
How are you?
You know, we talk about things, but Nevis has was 7 person invested in this team.
Yeah.
We just getting in the do, right?
You know, we celebrating, but we're not celebrating Nevis.
We are, isn't it federal?
Because
Jamdan was just about
to say, look, well,
Jamdan was just about to say that, but his phone was going in and out. I think Jamdan was gonna mention us not being serious about local cricket.
We get two.
But he wanted to interject that during your time
when I go to Barbados.
So we couldn't allow it really.
Have you ever been on Cable campus?
No.
Barbados?
Not me.
Yeah.
No. Only
they have
the
the
one in
tombs
Jamaica.
of the 3 W's, you know, Weeks, Walcott, and Matthew Wesley.
Yeah, Walcott.
On the campus, they first established a thing where you could do cricketing on campus. That's why it's called elevated. If I'm just, they come from down the road, you understand?
Yeah.
In St. Kitts, we should have a place where you could go and see. Well, in Nevis, there is a museum, I think, with a statue of Willet.
El Camino.
Have you ever seen it? Look real life, like, you know. Right in Charlestown. I think it was near the tourism place. We need to be pushing that.
But Nevis had have various recognitions and awards handed to Mr. Willett. Even the park, is named after him.
It's a Nevis.
Yeah.
And stop lamenting. Oh, we ain't got nobody. We ain't got nobody.
We have people. But who said we didn't have anybody?
We have just walk on without any effort.
No, we have.
Even the younger ones, them, you know.
Yeah, but we have younger ones coming up too. We have the young crook.
I am saying we need to add the numbers so it sound better.
Yeah, but it's
2 callers this morning referenced Nevis. So
was about to, but we couldn't because of the segment. We couldn't continue the conversation. As I said, Jamdown phone was going in and out, so I don't know how clear he was hearing us. So if Jamdown, if you want to call back and speak on what you were talking about, feel free to do so.
I like the idea. I love cricket, eh?
Yeah.
But to tell you the truth, I don't take losing nicely.
Yeah, none of us as Caribbean people. We take
I
it
said
too
these
hard.
people giving people a heart attack.
Yeah, we take it too hard.
Please don't get one.
I'm serious. They're winning by last ball and so.
You know, I tell you.
That's bad for the heart.
Bad for the heart.
Because you're on the edge of the seat.
Yeah. It's like when Guyana playing CPL.
Yeah.
And you show them in the finals and they let somebody beat them.
Jesus.
I could imagine how much Guyanese got to go to the doctor next morning.
You didn't see when they lost the last time. You didn't see all the then again, I guess you didn't hear of all the confusion. Because listen, people got lashed with belt. Listen, a lot of nonsense. People
I mean, look, I just say, you hear me? The West Indies team, they want somebody to look, if you all over into this blows, go see today.
Why? It seems so.
Yeah.
They need something to motivate them.
Yeah.
Rather than taking it. You know, when we lose. I mean, just you lose.
All
carry come lose.
Yeah, because everybody was betting on them.
All of our people live overseas lose.
You know, Sylvine, I'm glad you've made that statement, all of us, because Caribbean economists from the past have stated that cricket was a part of our blooming economies because we took that pride into everything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now these are cooling out. You know?
We want no cooling out, so I hope they're listening to us and they're going to come with the same fire that we have back in them.
They're listening. They just hear the score. You mean to go on for nothing? And they say that you just cool. Let me go out the sun, buddy. You know me?
Oh, no. We got to walk in the sun. That's your job.
There's difference between some of them.
That's your job.
Maybe they need to carry them up to Cavill and say, all of you sit down around this grave here. You hear me?
And
this is when... No, I'm...
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Good
seen them,
morning, Brother
Prince?
Quinn.
Yeah, we have
Good morning,
another. We have another.
Hold
caller.
on, hold on. Let Miss Henry finish her point, and then we can
Yeah.
continue. Okay?
I'm gonna finish. So what I am saying, we must
I need to
be
say something
adding
to Miss
Nevis
Henry
to
too,
say this to make us sound good. This is one and we get one and we get two. We ain't gonna one and we get two. It make 9.
Yeah.
Some countries don't. By the way, y'all were talking about this fast bowler in Antigua.
What was the
Andy
name of
Roberts?
And Andy Roberts?
Yeah, I was mixing up
He was
Andy
mixing
Roberts
him
with
up and
Michael
Holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy Roberts, man. The British feared him, you know.
Yeah,
the team feared him.
he was one responsible for the initial breakthrough that the West Indies got back in the early days.
Yeah, because since he couldn't bowl fast, they changed the rule.
Yeah, they
So
changed up all.
whenever you beat them, you say, this is it. Sometimes we talk too much. We brag too much. Oh, well, we can do this, we can do that. They're planning to. We need a planner. Anyway, sorry I can't see it.
Yeah.
People are saying cricket and hearing it. And tell them, I say, please, if they're going to come here, come lose, don't come.
Yeah, okay.
No, they're coming to win. They're coming to win. They're hearing us today.
Okay, Miss Henry,
Yeah,
you
but
take
say,
care.
Mars win.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Brother Quinn. Good morning,
Yeah.
Good
Caller,
morning.
caller,
And I
when,
must-
caller, before we continue, when you're on the air, remember 2 things. 1, turn down your radio because we tend to hear it in the background.
Feedback.
And number 2, if you're on and the other caller is, you have to try to be as quiet as possible because it kind of conflicts with. Yeah. So go ahead. Otherwise.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I must also extend my profound interest when Sylvian speak. Sylvian, I am inspired by you when you speak. I always wish I did say it when I came on the media, but now I could say it because I remember because you were on. I would like to get in touch with you. But coming to the cricket, the one and only sport I really know and I grew up with. Cricket was very, very meaningful. We breathed cricket, we dream cricket, we dreamed cricket. And you see, when we play cup match, I'm from the Molyneux area. Everybody looking for a pick. But when you don't get a pick, your ball. We used to cry when we don't get pick on that team to represent our area.
Yeah.
That's the kind of community I built up. I grew up in. But you see, cricket has gone, and you got to take into consideration cricket die out.
When you say that, what do you mean?
Okay, the interest that the young people should have having cricket like in our days wasn't for money. We would just love the game. But these days here, people want pay like basketball.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
The game.
But don't you think that if you want pay, that just like you have to perform in the other sports, that you should perform in cricket the same way?
Absolutely. And I'm not just speaking about cricket, in all sports. You see, this is a sign of the times. And some people, hey, I'm not playing this sport because I'm not getting anything from it. A little fame, yes. But it is at a new level. And if that level of giving some kind of, like leagues, we could have leagues. And we move forward with raising funds locally and even make challenge outside to other local island leagues.
When last you see somebody set up a bucket with a zinc and a piece of board and go in and bowl, and the zinc, once the zinc fall, that's your wicket fall. Kids don't play like that in the streets anymore. And it's and it's things like that made people love the sports, because summertime come, you down the road, you get your 2 stone, your bucket, your zinc, whatever you set up, your ball, your piece of wood you pick up from somewhere, and even if it got nail in it and you're batting, and we don't do that anymore.
As the caller stated, back then we lived it, we breathed it, we dreamt it, everything. Yeah.
Everybody want to play cricket. Not no.
Well,
and guess what?
Hortensia, I must commend the Guyana because of the Guyanese who have come down to these parts. we see a sort of re-interest in cricket because the Guyanese youth, when they come, I can remember jumping on buses at different times and going to, and you would see these Guyanese youths, but now we're seeing Kittitian and Nevisian youths. Well, Nevisian always kind of had it, but it was fading.
Nevis always had it.
Yeah, but St.
Nevis
Kitts
gets their jacket.
But St. Kitts, now you're seeing, now I feel proud because sometimes I'm on a bus and I see Kittitian youths, teenagers and so on, they're going to different cricket venues to play because of the Guyanese spirit that they bring to cricket.
Yeah, for real. Because when the last Men in Maroon we had last year, when Moti was here, everybody was hyped for Moti.
Yeah.
The Indian, I even made friends with some folks from Nevis that were from Guyana, some Indian folks.
Yeah.
And they were like, remember, we have to back Moti. So every time Moti did something good, we were out and about for Moti. But we have to bring it back to the grassroots, man. We have to start everything from the preschool era. The kids will enjoy, and that's how the longevity of the sport, the heritage, the culture will reign, and people would actually play with pride because... Yeah, if you don't play with pride, then what's the point? As you say, we just take losing and like next time, and next time we don't do any better.
Yeah. Caller, go ahead.
Yes. Quint, when I was I was a true cricketer when I grew up. I made St. Kitts youth cricket team moving forward.
Okay.
And I was a left arm spin bowler. And I made it. I wasn't even selected. I go into the park with my ball and my bat, and I started to bowl. And who recognized me? Hicks and Dwyer.
Okay.
And they recognized I was not on the team, the selected team, and they continue. I end up become the left arm spin bowler for St. Kitts youth cricket team. We went to Montserrat.
Okay.
I made a mark there, but I get some back too.
Well, that's all in the game.
All in the game.
Yes, but I almost get a hat trick in one of those games, and I'm telling you, everyone was on fire.
Yeah.
The next thing I said, get some bats. Hicks wanted to beat me with a bat after that.
Yeah. We have another caller. Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. Another caller. Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah.
Let me try to put some of the morning's discussions in context. I, like most people, like a good debate, right? I like the tickling of the mind and the expressions of ideas and logical arguments and so on.
Yeah.
Right? But if it's one thing I've learned in my life is that you can find something to justify almost everything.
You're right.
Right? I mean, everyone knows that the sky is blue. But of course, there can be a debate on that because it's not really blue. It's all kinds of science involved. It appears to be blue.
Yeah.
Okay? But we should draw the line in the sand on some things. And slavery is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay? We
I
should
agree.
never countenance any attempt to justify it, to sanitize it in whatever form.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it dehumanizes us, right? And so we should resist any attempt to, regardless of the source, even if it's the Bible saying that it's good sometimes, or our oppressors saying that it's justifiable or legal, right? We should resist all those attempts, right? And that's where everybody, I think, should draw the line. As for the exploits in cricket, we have to realize that one of the reasons for our demise there has been cultural penetration. Okay, we became more attuned to the basketballers in the U.S.
Yeah, and
and
soccer.
wanted to emulate them rather than our cricket heroes.
Yeah.
Okay, and yes, people have a choice and so on, but as someone said back then, we were more likely to get on a top cricketing team
than a top basketball team.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though, because of the hand-eye or foot-eye coordination, if you're good at one sport, you're most likely to be good at any other sport you put your
But
mind
most,
to, as you often
can
see.
I interject? Most of these people that are good at basketball and these other sports, they practice for hours. We just want to practice for 2-3 hours and think that's enough.
Yeah.
We have to.
Right.
We have to work.
Yeah.
And if we don't put in the work, we can't get the results.
Yeah.
Just like me putting on weight and want to be slim tomorrow. I can't just go drink something and that work. I have to work.
Yeah, you have to work.
Yeah.
You have to put in the work.
And don't forget too, right, that in all this, we should know our limitations. There's no way that our country will become a nuclear power or some militarily dominant power.
Yeah.
It just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, we should look at other ways to shine.
Yeah.
And one of the ways, of course, is that we can make in our system, in our little corner of the world, we can make it better. We can make our own Garden of Eden, as some politicians like to say, right here. If we get things like our politics right, if we choose good leaders, if people are more patriotic, those kinds of things, those things are possible. There are no limits on us there, right? And so it's to get the proper leadership that can galvanize the country to focus on those kinds of things, as opposed to the exploits of other people around the world. We can have our own nice little paradise right here. It's within our reach. We can do it, and that's what we should really focus our efforts on.
I agree, but I'm going to go back to something that Cartensia said, because it is a salient point. Back in the day, I'm sure you can attest to that. People played cricket from primary coming up. All in the evening you would hear your parents would be complaining, your ball gone in, hitting, break somebody glass. Yeah. If we didn't have the red ball, we would get those tennis tires balls and cut the tubes and make those balls.
Ball cricket,
and then you'd play until the sun went down. That was the work. But nobody wants to put in that work now.
So. No, it's so much easier to just sit in front of a TV and watch and watch what's happening. Okay, and yes, it might have been all pervasive. Everybody tried their hand of it. I myself was not a person into sports, unlike my dad. But I can certainly identify with the exploits of our cricketers back then. Okay, and there are particular persons who are talented in particular sports, and they should be given the opportunity to shine. Okay, and we should definitely support them. I think the problem comes in identifying, first of all, these people, and then getting the resources, whether, and it doesn't have to be government, the private sector is one that generally would contribute to sports, because they see the good in supporting, let's say, a particular team, having the name associated with a winning team and those kinds of things. Yeah. Right? And you could think about them, whether it's Rams, Hartford, CDC, or whoever else. They do support, but it's the coordination of all of that to get the really talented people, right, to the top, get them bubbling to the top, and get them exploding on the international scene, where it really matters. That, I think, is the challenge for us. How do we do that? How do we get that done? Rather than just be seen as some mediocre country somewhere that, every 10 years we produce somebody who is Kim Collins or or Michael Louis. That kind of thing. We can actually have a program that try to make sure that people with particular talent bubble to the top. I don't think we really have that here. It's too hit and miss kind of thing.
Yeah.
It depends too much on luck. We can actually, like in some countries, actually have a program that specifically targets the sporting our sportsmen to be really at the top of the game. And interestingly enough, I saw something there about Turkey. Actually, I think it's a strange kind of citizenship by investment where they're encouraging Jamaicans, I think it was to represent Turkey in international sports. I guess they get their citizenship there and they can represent them legally, right? That's a twist that we're going to have to watch, because we don't want, it's a different kind of, you talk about brain drain, we don't want drain in another aspect on our population.
Yeah, we're gonna have to soon segue, because we have a conference that will be coming up in relation to the music festival. So we're gonna segue a bit early, but we still got maybe a few more minutes of time. I wanted to comment on the fact that someone called earlier and was complaining about the time that we give to Greg and maybe Mr. McMahon. For the morning, you notice Miss Henry was on, and when Miss Henry was on, we had another caller while she was on, and then that caller was on, and then Mr. McMahon came in. So that is the way it should go, but not that you have a caller and no one else is calling, and you cut the caller, and then you have what? We're just going to talk and talk and talk, No, we engage with people who want to engage with us. If you want to engage, call. Don't wait until, look, I've heard people who call in on a program and spend almost 5 minutes complaining that they didn't get in. You understand? I wish they would, but you're in now. Make your comment. This is the thing with us as a people. We're so into to agitation and so forth. And, no. Mr. McMahon was speaking just a while ago. No one else was calling, so we engage him. Now we have a caller. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Quint?
Yes.
Sorry, it's me again.
Be brief.
Yes, I'm going to be brief.
Very brief, yeah.
Yes, I'm going to be very brief. I would just like to ask a question to everybody. Slavery was practiced since ancient time by all nations. Without the Bible, how do we know the practice of slavery is wrong? How do we know dehumanizing somebody is wrong if you're not going to go on the Bible? Without the Bible, how do we know that anything is wrong? Thank you, Quint.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to see if Cartensia can answer that. Cartensia, what do you have to say about that?
As I always said, Bible is the precedence for most things. The Bible is the reason why it was decided that it's 1-to-1, especially when it comes to marriage, because we know the Bible had areas where some of the long-time prophets had more than one wives, but how should I say this? Eventually, it just ended up being 1-to-1 because of the jealousy and everything that probably ensued there. And we see, even though now people try to, why is he looking? Do you want to say something, sir? No, but the Bible sets a precedence for a lot of things. The Bible is in a lot of the laws that we have in our lands. The Bible is in the prayers that we have in our schools. So the Bible set a precedence for a lot of things. But I know people were enslaved because of their disobedience to God, but he never said it was good. If he thought it was good, he would have left them there. He would have never made a pathway for them to make it out when they were enslaved. So it's like it was a period where they had to learn their lesson, and after learning their lesson, they were free to go. But when the masters realized who's going to do this, who's going to do that, they went to get them and ended up getting their debt. So the Bible had things that it taught us. Those things are bad, so don't practice that. And they showed us what the end result of slavery brought.
I don't believe that we need the Bible to tell us what is right or wrong.
That's what tells us what's right from wrong even now. Because why is it we have laws that stem from the Bible then?
Before the quote unquote Bible, people knew right from wrong.
Who people? Who knew?
People all over the world.
No,
and we meet people who, well, it is happening less and less now because
the Bible said thou shalt not steal, right?
Because the world is becoming a smaller place, but we have encountered people who were not able to know a Bible, religion, read, and so forth, and they had morals. They knew what was right. You would watch how they brought up their children, and their children treated other children the way they wanted to be treated, and so on and so forth.
Okay, let's go all the way back to the natives that didn't have the book until they encountered the conquerors, right? Let's put it in that context.
Yeah.
Don't you think that the Lord worked with them still in varying ways because they had a belief of something?
The Creator,
it may not have been the Bible.
The Creator, that is why I use the term Creator as opposed to God or Jesus.
And that's what I'm saying. So don't you think they had an encounter then to know what was right from wrong then too, because they had varying rules, etc.
Yes, because we are spiritual people, and there's that.
Yes, so something was always leading us.
There's that aspect of us that is ingrained within us that tells us right from wrong. We kind of feel it.
But like we learn right from wrong now because of what happened back then.
Sometimes you're urged to do something, and another part of you is saying no. And within yourself,
because we were taught to do better.
Within yourself, you kind of know what is right and what is wrong.
Because we were groomed a certain way.
Yeah, but no, I don't believe. You come from your father was a preacher, so you're gonna follow that trend, right? But
even if my dad wasn't a preacher, I went to Sunday school.
Church,
I learned right from wrong.
Yes, but I learned right from wrong before I went to Sunday school.
Because your parent taught you, right?
Yes.
But where did your parent learn? You see,
and that was
it's
before,
a whole bunch. It goes.
And that was before my parents were Christian. So.
But they would have learned right from wrong because of something they would have encountered. And it doesn't have to be the Creator, it doesn't have to be the Bible, but from what they were taught, right?
Yeah.
So, you see, this is why I don't do politics, and this is why I don't do Bible, because we never agree to disagree.
Hortensia, you're my co-host. I love you to death. I do not want us to go down any kind.
These are the things. That's why I keep quiet. Listen, yeah. Mario over there in Nevis, honey. You see why I don't say much, right? You understand, Sugar Plum. I hope you have a great day.
Let's not go down the rabbit hole. You understand? Yeah. I don't want to deal with you the way I might deal with a Greg or so forth.
Lord, no. Yeah. But no, see, Bible and politics. Well, to all, have a wonderful day. Remember, be safe. Nadia Rollins celebrating today. You enjoy your time up at the barricade, sweetie. It's your day. God is giving you a next 365. Have fun. And to everyone else celebrating birthday, anniversaries, graduations, whatever, enjoy your day.
Yeah, same. Just whatever she said, I concur.
And Quint, listen out for the string band tonight.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Suppligen is giving away 3 unforgettable shopping sprees valued at $1,200 each. Just shop and win. Spend $12 or more on Suppligen products at your